And so today, as you know, is the ambassador celebration from around the world. And I'm looking forward to seeing many of our friends here. So I'm going to pause here, but I'm going to wait for a few people to join. We'll be back with you shortly. Hi, everyone. So great to see you. And I can see that more and more of our ambassadors and friends are joining this particular celebration. As this slide says over here, it is International Volunteer Day. International Volunteer Day. And whilst we wait for our friends to join, more and more friends to join, tell us where you're from, tell us what you volunteer for, and tell us if you've heard any great quotes on volunteering that you think are quite appropriate to share here. So I'm going to stop here for a second. I'll be back. But remember, tell us where you're from. Tell us anything that you want to about what you've got out of volunteering, and tell if you've heard a great quote. Please let us know what that is. I'll be back in a second. Everyone, thank you so much for joining this live stream today. And as this slide says, we are celebrating International Volunteer Day for this year, simply because when I reflect on the journey that T4 has taken over the last 18 odd months, nothing could have really been possible without the selfless love that we've had from so many of you, and which I'm really grateful about. And this occasion today is an attempt to celebrate all of your contributions as well. And whilst we go about doing and talking about volunteering, I thought what would be quite interesting is to flag up a couple of different quotes that have always inspired me about volunteering. And so the first one is quite the famous one, which is the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And I think that's a really cool quote, actually. And Mahatma Gandhi from India actually talked about that. And I often find that when I volunteer for things, and I do that quite actively, whether it's for other NGOs, for other community activities, is by doing what I do, you kind of reconnect and you get to understand what it means to your own life, and that's what I think is really powerful. Then there's another famous quote, which is, "Service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth." And so this is about your obligation to society. This is not just about me. This is about your service to others. And I think it's a really powerful quote that only the greatest boxer in the whole world used. But the thing about all this volunteering stuff that we talk about is this next quote is actually what nails it for me. This speaks to me the most, and I wanted to share it with you because I do believe that we can change the world. And this quote is by Margaret Mead. She said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." And that's very much how I think about all of us here. I think of us as a small group of thoughtful, committed volunteers. And that, I think, is quite an incredible thing. And so today in this live stream, what we've tried to do is set up this session for our country ambassadors in particular, and those who are interested in volunteering to be country ambassadors for T4 to come forward and share their stories and celebrate success. But in the meantime, also to learn as to what the role is, because we're about to start our enrollment process. And we hope that many of you come forward and say, okay, we will join hands with you as well, right? And so those are some of the things that I've been thinking of when we came to set it up. I now want to introduce, some friends. And so you will all know Kirsten. Kirsten, say hi. Kirsten obviously runs the show when it comes to everything in T4, and you'll all be aware of her. Kirsten, say hello. You're on mute.
Hello, everybody. I'm really excited that you've joined us today to celebrate this. We really appreciate all your support.
Fantastic. Now we also have Daniel. Daniel, you'll see, is in Nigeria at the moment. Daniel, say hello.
Hello, everyone. We're glad that you're able to join. Happy International Volunteer Day to every one of you.
Fantastic. Now, along with Kirsten and Daniel, who I will take off the screen, we also have 3 of our country ambassadors who are joining us. And they are Abhilasha Singh from the UAE. Hi, Abhilasha. Say hello.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Vikas.
And tell everyone where you are.
I am Principal Shining Star International School, Abu Dhabi, UAE.
Wonderful. And also welcome Wendell Cabrera. Wendell, good evening. Say wonderful. And country ambassador extraordinaire. And we have Jasmine, who is right now in South Africa. Jasmine, say hello. You're on mute. We don't like you on mute. No, we can't hear you. Maybe you've lost your voice. We can't hear you. But okay, it's okay. We'll come back to you. So let's try and figure this out. And so what we wanted to do today, and I'll bring Kirsten back on. Kirsten is the boss, and she's going to be driving this conversation. So Kirsten, over to you.
Thank you very much, Vikas. Okay, so I'm just going to move through some of these slides. This is what we've got planned for this session, this celebration with you. Obviously, this is all about thanking you for all the support that you give us. I'm going to talk a little bit about ambassador achievements over the last year. And of course, you're going to hear from our awesome ambassadors that are on the call with us today. And Daniel is also going to talk to you about how to apply. I'll cover some of our plans for 2022, and there'll be an opportunity to ask questions. So please, any questions that you have about the country ambassador role, if you're thinking of applying, then today is an opportunity to try and get those questions answered. So I'm just going to hand back over to Vikas, who wants to talk to you about our country ambassadors, and you can see them on screen there.
Thank you for that, Kirsten. I really appreciate this. And look at this incredible panorama that exists of all of our country ambassadors in all their glory. And it fills me with so much joy and friendship when I see so many of our friends in this format. So thank you all so much for what you do. And when I reflect upon, as we're in December, we reflect upon this year and look at our achievements. We started this journey at the beginning with the Teacher Tech Summit. We've had impact seminars. We've had, for our alliance partners, we have CEOs circles for all the CEOs of these organizations. And we've had World Education Week as well, which was a stonking success, simply because so many of us turned up. And all of you whose names are listed over here have contributed so massively that we owe it to say a huge thank you to all of you. I also should talk about the survey that we published, which became the world's largest survey of the use of tech by teachers and a great public good, which is now being used by governments, by universities, by researchers, that talks about just the fabulous stuff. And I say all of this, and I mean this categorically, none of this would have been possible without each and every single one of you. And so please know that all of our achievements are really our achievements, our as in collective, our families' achievements. And I want to be very clear that whilst today Abhilasha, Wendell, and Jasmine are here representing the country ambassadors, there's quite a few of you who are here, and I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts for everything that you have done. And we are now going to be thinking about, talking in terms of your comments, and so tell us in terms of what have been the highlights of this past year for you, either as a country ambassador or someone who has been watching in the comments. So let's see what comments we get, and we're waiting for them. So the question is, what is it that's really inspired you? What is it that you've enjoyed giving your time for? Because all of this stuff is very informative for us as well. It's not necessarily that everything will lift you. It's not everything you can't do everything. So what is it that you did or you participated in that really blew you away, saying that was amazing, and thank you for that opportunity? So please do put in the comments over here. And whilst we wait for these comments to come in, we'll move to the next section of this discussion. And so I hand back over to Kirsten.
Thank you very much, Vikas. So I just wanted to talk to you about what we've actually achieved together through 2021. And this, we couldn't have done any of this without you. And when I'm talking about you, we are talking about all of our country ambassadors and all of our T4 ambassadors. The social media reach that we have achieved together completely blows my mind. You are phenomenal, and it shows what community can do when we do come together. I mean, the fact that on social media together, we have reached nearly 169 million people. When you think about that in terms of the population of the entire world, it is mind-blowing. And absolutely, we could not do this without you. And, you've helped us share those messages on social media as well. The fact that we've had over 155,000 shares on social media talking about our T4 activities, again, that is all you. That is certainly not us. And we are, indebted to your support, and we really do value it. And so I wanted to just talk about some of the things that you've specifically been working on. And we know that there may also be some new T4 ambassadors that have joined us to tune in today. And we're really pleased to have you here as well. And so these are the kinds of activities that our T4 ambassadors have been working on. You've helped us achieve reaching over 46,000 teachers that were enabled to register and attend the Teacher Tech Summit free. You helped us reach over 20,000 teachers from, I think, about 149 countries around the world or something crazy, that they completed the global teacher poll. And we've just had World Education Week in October, and we had over 81,000 tickets booked for World Education Week again. And, you've been helping us grow our community. We have 200,000 members in our community now, which is insane when you think this journey started back in May 2020 when we launched the T4 conference. And we have over 4,000 ambassadors. And I'm amazed at the support that we get, but I feel I have to say as well, as this is International Volunteer Day, that many of you that I've grown to know already know that I started this journey as a volunteer for T4 back in May 2020 and implemented the T4 Ambassador Scheme. And I could not believe that within less than 2 weeks, 3,000 of you registered to volunteer and amplify our communications on social media. I mean, it was absolutely phenomenal. And, you know, you are the reason we're here still today doing what we do, and we can't do it without you. And thinking about our country ambassadors, of course, they are also T4 ambassadors that take part in those missions that we share with you via the mailing list. But the country ambassadors are actually an extension of our team for a year. So they have a lot more responsibilities. They get to hear some of our top secret classified information. They knew about the World's Best School Prizes for most of this year since they joined us, and they've helped us keep that secret until Vickers announced that during the plenary on the 3rd of October. And we've all been really excited about that. So many of our ambassadors have been helping us with translations. You know, we would not have been able to have the Teacher Tech Summit stream with 11 languages without their support. And it's the same, they supported us with translations of our global teacher poll into 17 languages, and we had multiple languages again for World Education Week. And those translation activities involved things like translating graphics to promote materials about our activities. They edited automated translations for the survey and made sure that they were accurate. Some of them also helped with editing automated translations and captions for pre-recorded content for the Teacher Tech Summit, and many more things. And we've had a Twitter chat squad formed this year with some of our country ambassadors co-hosting not any normal Twitter chat. It's been a multilingual Twitter chat, so we can involve as many people as possible. And again, that is down to the support of our country ambassadors. And some of the other things, there's more. They've done so much this year, and we're so grateful. The social media squad have been supporting our community across social media, answering questions, moderating our LinkedIn group, our Facebook group, answering questions. Some have also been engaging with the press in their own country, getting articles published, blog posts, all kinds of things. And some have been fantastic at facilitating local online events, telling teachers locally about the World's Best School Prize or about our events that have been coming up. And we also had an emergency response squad during World Education Week, because there's a lot of technical work that happens to make World Education Week happen. And we were concerned that some of our event hosts might have technical issues. So a huge group of country ambassadors came forward and volunteered to be trained to be technical producers if they were needed. And of course, they've also been recruiting schools to apply to host events in World Education Week and for World's Best School Prizes. So it's been absolutely phenomenal. And so all we can really keep saying is thank you so much, and we appreciate you. And I'm going to hand back over to Vickers, who is also going to bring on our country ambassadors, and they're also going to share their experiences. Thanks.
And so I want to ask our friends who are here, Wendell, Jasmine, and Abhilasha, a few questions, so that this session is useful to them as well, to those that are watching. And so I want to start with Abhilasha, actually. I asked you the question, like, you know, what motivated you to decide to apply to become a country ambassador, Abhilasha?
Thank you so much, Vikas. And thank you first and foremost for initiating T4, because this has actually been a sort of a big platform for the education fraternity to come together. And we have made connections through T4. And so it has been amazing. And we've learned so much on the way. And to answer your question, why did I become a volunteer and why did I become a country ambassador? There is always this thing about becoming part of something bigger than your work. and also being a role model for my teachers, for my team, that it is not the regular work that you do. You need to also do something to give back to the community what you are receiving from them. And God has been kind. I mean, we have all worked very hard to reach where we are, and therefore it is time that we also give our time and invest ourselves in our own learning, at the same time also be useful to a larger community. And being part of T4 has been a very symbiotic relationship. It is not just that we have given our time, we have learned so much being part of T4. And being a country ambassador, it also gets you a lot of connectivity and a spotlight. So I love being a country ambassador.
And so, thank you so much for sharing that, Abhilasha. Please know that we are also very grateful that you're a member of our country ambassador community. I want to go to Jasmine. Jasmine, like, you know, you heard what Abhilasha said. You know, I would love to hear from you in terms of, like, you know, how have you benefited from the role? We can't hear you still. We can't hear you still. All right. We can't hear you. And so, Wendell, I'm going to come to you. Wendell, can you try answering this question? How have you benefited from the role? And so what do you think, Wendell, in terms of Filipino teachers in particular, where you are, what do you think that they found the benefit of T4 to their practice? Because the context, when you think about it, could be so varied and so different. You know, here I am sitting in London, you're all the way across the world, actually. Tell us what your teachers feel about T4 and what they have engaged with and enjoyed more. Well, so thank you so much for sharing that. Abhilasha, when in your comments, you talked about it's been a symbiotic relationship, I think you said. And you also said that it resulted in greater connectivity. Can you say a little bit more about these things?
So because we as in my own country in UAE, we the main the purpose was to take T4 to all the schools in the country, and to ensure that the surveys were taken. First of all, to be for the surveys to be successful, we wanted everybody to be part of that survey, everyone to attend Teacher Tech Summit, and then also to attend the World Education Week. And we've been now the second year. So this has helped us to forge relationships with the schools. This has helped to spread the word. So it is just not just like our local community in the Emirates of Abu Dhabi, but also in the other Emirates. So that way, it has helped us to help me particularly to get to know more principals, because it was on a principal to principal network. And then there were also teachers from my other schools in Dubai. So it was really nice to to expand your network, and also in places where you are invited as a speaker, and then you also, apart from what you're talking about, you also give them info about the Global Teachers Prize, the school Global School Prize, and sorry, my bad, Global School Prize, and also about if it was before the World Education Week to sign up for it, and to attend that. So this also helps you to other people to make more inquiries. So I get WhatsApp messages and say, ma'am, you spoke about this, what is it, could you tell us more about it? So that way it has really helped to make connections, and also a voice to be heard, and also get them to know what is T4 and what T4 is doing. So that way it has been a very nice experience.
Jasmine, I'm hoping I can hear you. Can you say something?
Yes.
Hey, okay, there you go.
Okay, I think this is the incredible thing about T4, being a T4 ambassador. We're in this together. I didn't even panic because I know you're there. I know we're a team. I know being an ambassador is just a great thing, not only when you lose connectivity, but whatever you do. So did I benefit from this? Yes, as a professional, that was the first thing that struck me. We are a team, and that's why TIF was so powerful, because whatever happens, you never have to feel afraid. And yes, I have benefited as a professional. I've grown as a professional. I have met people like Abilasha, Wendell, but then also thousands more. I've been able to reach teachers I thought I would never meet globally. I have been able to, through T4, impact students because of what T4 is doing. So yes, I have definitely benefited from the role.
I know Kirsten is going to talk a little bit about the obligations on country ambassadors in particular. And so at times, there's this balance. And what she said at the beginning was that you are an extension, if not a part of our family. And so many of the things that we try to do involve country ambassadors. Can you tell, for those that are watching and considering taking this role, in terms of what is the workload, and is it a strain?
I would say the workload is a joy for me, but that's my personal opinion, because that's the way I'm made. These things excite me, but the workload is actually engaging with that vision. I wouldn't call it a workload. I would call it a commitment, a calling.
Absolutely.
And if you are into that commitment and calling, all you have to do is remarketing and events. We are actually empowering others. We are enabling others. So it is actually, you're providing a service. Yes, you have to go that extra mile to go and ask people, can you share this link? Can you share this with your staff? Can you share this with your country? Can you share this with the education department? But that's about as hard as it is. And doing it is actually a joy, because it's something that you just don't firstly, if you're a country ambassador, you have to share the vision. You have to believe in it. You can't promote something you can't. So the workload is, yes, going above and beyond to market events for others to tap into the vision. But
And so,
otherwise,
yeah, thanks a lot, Jasmine. Wendell and Abhilasha, I'd love to get your perspective on this quote and whether it strikes true for you as individuals.
Absolutely. Wendell, would you like to go first? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So, because volunteering has always been part of, has been a part of my life. I volunteer for UAE volunteers, and at different, whenever they have different fun programs. So I volunteered for the winter, the Special Olympics here, or while it was back to school program where we were packing school bags for refugee children in Syria, in Syria in the camp. So that way, service learning is very close to my heart, and this is really true. And this is really true because, like I said, if you have to be part of something bigger than yourself and your organization, it's always nice to be part of something bigger than that. So this is something that you really, every one of us, in fact, this is my call out to everyone, that you need to have a sublimation in life where you're doing something more than what you are regularly doing. So, and this really helps you to find yourself, a calling to yourself, to also be able to identify yourself and to know your potential, what you're capable of, and what is meant for you. Because
Right.
there are people like I know that some people do not like working in for social work, because everybody wants to work in that white collar jobs and in comfortable environment like that. But then here it is, you step out of your comfort zone to be of service to others, and this is something that we also do in the school, and we initiate this with our children as well, and we encourage them to volunteer for different organizations. Service learning for grade 11, 12 is part of the program in the school as well. And while I say this, I have to mention that I've got 3 more T4 ambassadors in my school. And while Vikas was asking the question about the workload, it is like Jasmine said, that we are very enthusiastic about it. And it is 4 people. So that team I'm very thankful to, because if I'm here today, it is because my team also works along with me side by side. So Anita Singh, Miss Anita Singh, Malar, and Afreen, and then the entire Department of Arabic and French who help in the translation. So that workload is shared. It is enthusiasm, and they never ever have said that we can't do it, or they are more enthusiastic than ourselves to be part of the program. So that's the kind of thing that is there in this, like we bring to the school.
Thank you. And Wendell, do you want to have a go more succinctly at this question? Fantastic. Well, thank you, Abhilasha. Thank you, Wendell. Thank you, Jasmine, for taking part in this live stream. But I want to say, not just to the 3 of you, but all the other country ambassadors that are here today, please know that I'm really grateful to you. And I'm sure that these messages that you've heard from these 3 in particular resonate with you all, and we'd love to hear. So please do comment away, and please do participate. I now hand over to Kirsten.
Thank you so much, Vikas. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Vikas, and everybody. I'm loving seeing all the comments that are coming in today as well. Thank you so much for your engagement. So I'm just going to briefly, we're very conscious that we had to start late, but we'll try and keep this to time as much as possible. So what I would like to focus on right now is the kind of like plans for country ambassadors for 2022. Now, of course, we have got existing awesome country ambassadors, and many of them may choose to continue in the role, and we would love for them to stay with us. And so they will have a separate application process, and Daniel's going to talk about that shortly. But of course, we're also reviewing the role and thinking about what we actually need in terms of country ambassador support for next year. And, we want to manage your expectations about this as well, because if you apply to be country ambassador and your application is successful, it is a serious application process, you are joining our team for a year. You're joining our global family. We will really get to know each other well, and there'll be hopefully lots of benefits that will come out of those working relationships. But there is a definite commitment. And so we see that as a minimum of 50 hours of volunteering commitment throughout the year. So when you break that down, that isn't necessarily a huge amount, but it's really important that you feel that you can commit to that, because we know that many of you are teachers, and as a former teacher myself, I know what that workload is like, even when you're not in the middle of a pandemic. It's a constant roller coaster, but the energy and enthusiasm that we all get by coming together, I think, keeps us going. So yes, 50 hours of volunteering as a baseline expectation. You will be attending meetings with the team. There will be some training sessions depending on the activities that you get involved in. So for example, I mentioned earlier that we had a Twitter chat squad this year with 2 Twitter chats co-facilitated with our country ambassadors, and those involved some country ambassadors that had never used Twitter before. Alejandra, who is our ambassador for Argentina, she's with us today, hello. Alejandra is an example of somebody that was new to Twitter and Twitter chats. And so, you know, we work and support as much as we can to help you all to be really effective in those roles. And so this is not just about helping complete an activity to benefit our mission. It's about developing your digital literacy skills and having skills that are transferable that you can also use in other areas of your professional and personal lives as well. So because of these meetings and trainings, we have to have a common language that enables us all to globally communicate with each other, and that is currently English. Until technology advances sufficiently so that live automated translations can work really, really effectively in a meeting environment, we need to stick to a single language to do that. I don't think we're too far off that happening in terms of multilingual translations and captions. We maybe just need to give the edtech companies a little nudge to make that happen sooner for us all. You will also be helping again with event recruitment, engaging with T4 ambassadors. That's been a long-term ambition, but we're a very small team, so sometimes it takes a while for us to realise some of our ambitions. But we definitely want to do that, and the T4 ambassador Facebook group will be a core part of enabling some of those collaborations between country ambassadors and T4 ambassadors to happen. There will definitely be more translation activities in country ambassador futures to support events and research activities in particular. It's possible that some country ambassadors might assist some schools with applications for the World's Best School Prizes, because currently those applications need to be in English, but that doesn't mean that we don't want a head of school who doesn't speak English to miss out on the opportunity of applying for prizes. So anyone that can help people with applications, that is something that would be gratefully appreciated as well. As part of the World's Best School Prize process, that we are also going to be launching a review panel, and we will be inviting country ambassadors to contribute to that activity as well. That doesn't mean that if you're a country ambassador and your school and you work in a school, your school can still apply, and we would encourage every country ambassador, every T4 ambassador's school to apply for the World's Best School Prizes. We want to reach 5,000 schools in this first year of the prizes, and we can't do that alone. But the more opportunities that schools can have, the better. There will be ongoing social media support, collaborations, co-hosting online chats, and more of those kinds of activities. And no doubt some activities that we haven't even dreamed up yet. We're always open to ideas from our ambassadors and our community as well. So if you have got some really great ideas and you want to be a country ambassador, please share those with us. Cover those on the application form. So anyway, I'm going to stop there and bring on Daniel, who is going to talk to you about the application process for this year. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kirsten. And Great to hear all the amazing feedback from our country ambassadors and some of our ambassadors as well. I've just been going through the comments and it's really been amazing. Just to give you a deeper understanding of what the application process is like for the 2022 cohort of country ambassadors. So first of all, the application form is online, and so you will need to complete the online application form for you to be able to, that's like the first step. You complete the form, and then we'll get to review your application and just read through everything. And then, just like Kirsten mentioned a while ago, all your applications should be sent in English. Like she mentioned, we still have some gaps in terms of live translations and those kinds of stuff. So it would really be great to have all those applications in English, just so that the team can quickly review your application and be able to provide feedback as much as we can. So applications that come in other languages other than English, I'm sorry to say, but those applications will not be considered because I don't speak any other language other than English and my native language. So it will be appropriate for us to have those applications in English. Also, the people that we're looking out for, the 2022 cohort of country ambassadors that we're looking out for, they are people that are super excited about, contributing their quota towards ensuring that students in every part of the world have access to quality education. No doubt, you read through statistics, and there's in public domain across several regions of the world. You know that the issues that we're dealing with in the education system are very peculiar to different regions. There are no regions in the world that don't have issues in the education system. So we're looking for educators that are very passionate and committed towards just ensuring that they do their bit to provide quality education for children in every part of the world. A lot of people are used to complaining, oh, this is not working, that is not working. We're looking for people that will fold their sleeves and get busy, just so that children can have opportunity of living or giving expression to their potentials and becoming all that they want to be. So if that sounds like you, if it looks like you're excited about supporting educational causes around the world, then I'd like to invite you to apply to be part of our 2022 cohort of country ambassadors. Also, yeah, so we were going to for 2022 is just one country ambassador for a particular country. Yeah, so we cannot allow one person, for instance, to say you're country ambassador for Nigeria, country ambassador for Namibia, or country ambassador for Singapore. No, so it's just one person for representing a country. So we can have a few people from a particular country, but certainly one country ambassador representing one country, or not more than one country. And also, after this call, we'll be posting the information about how to go about their, applying, the guide, and then the application form, and all of that details will be posted in the ambassador group. And then by tomorrow, being Monday, we'll also publish same on our website. So please also look out for the information in our TIFA ambassadors group and also on tifa.education website. Yeah, so just to also remind you, the deadline for the application to join our 2022 cohort is 11:59 p.m. GMT, Tuesday, the 4th of January, 2022. Yes, 11:59 p.m. GMT, Tuesday, the 4th of January, 2022. So I'd like to once again invite every one of you to just apply. And I know that when you go through the application, you will see that there are sections in the application where we ask for some details. Please feel free to provide as much information as possible, just so that we can be able to understand what your passion is, understand exactly what you seek to bring to the country ambassador role. So once again, thank you so much, and we look forward to receiving your applications.
Thank you very much, Daniel. So Vikas has had to leave us because we have started a little late. It's actually his daughter's birthday, so they're going off to celebrate now. So happy birthday to Anya. I hope you have a really great time.
Yeah.
But we want to use the rest of the time that we've got to answer any questions that you have. And again, if you've got questions for any of our country ambassadors that have joined us today, you are welcome to do that as well. I'm just adding you back to the stream. 1 second. There we go. Okay, so we've got a question here. Explain how to be an ambassador, please. Okay, so once this live stream is finished, you will be able to access the recording, and there is further information if you've joined us late that will help you understand. But just as a very quick recap, anybody can become a T4 ambassador. You just have to subscribe to the T4 ambassador mailing list on t4.education. And then what we do is we email you about missions when they come up, and we provide you with guidance so that you can optimize your social media profiles, optimize your social media posts, because one of the benefits of being a T4 ambassador is about growing your online global network, your PLN, your personal or professional learning network. And if you really want to do that, then it's really useful to be really strategic about how you post on social media. So we hope that some of the advice that we provide through those mission packs help you to achieve that as well. And then if you want to be a country ambassador, that is the application process that Daniel was just talking about. Okay, I'm just having a quick look at the comments. We'll bring those up on screen. We're really happy that you're enjoying this and that you have been interacting with us today. It's wonderful to see so many of you have joined us. And this discussion, how can we take ambassadors, please? Okay, so I think I've just covered that with regards to you need to join the email list, T4 ambassadors at t4.education. And you're welcome, Fethi. And the application form for the country ambassador role, we're going to make that available in the Facebook group for T4 ambassadors right after this finishes. And then, as Daniel mentioned, that will go on the website from tomorrow as well. So you'll be able to find that at t4.education. You don't have to be a T4 ambassador to apply. So if you're watching currently on the Vickers Porter page, hello. But it's useful for you to be on that T4 ambassador mailing list because it helps you to keep up to date. And if you become a country ambassador, you absolutely need to be on that list as well. It helps you to complete your role better by keeping up to date with those communications.
Yeah, Kester, maybe I should just add that we've prepared a guide, the application guide as well. So all of those assets will be made available in the group and on the website as well. So for those who just want to run through the application form, you just want to know what is expected or what the questions that you'll be asked before you begin your application process, just take time to go through the guide. Everything is covered, is so detailed. You'll just know everything that's required of you in every part of the form. Yeah, so that will be made available as well.
Great, thank you very much, Daniel. So we have this question here. Unfortunately, I don't know who that's from, but they would like to ask the country ambassadors what was their greatest challenge during the last year. So I'll go to Abhilasha first. And feel free to be, we're all about transparency, so go for it.
So thank you for that question, Facebook user. Your name is not there. The greatest challenge is always to, get other people to see to share your passion, to share your vision. So to be able to reach out, and then time is always a challenge for everybody who's working. So then,
Yes.
how enthusiastic are others to share what you're doing, and how much time can they create in their 24 hours to be part of what you want, what you're bringing to them. So getting everybody to share your vision and your passion for work, for T4, for what T4 does, and all the different the summit and the World Education Week, to sign up for it, to take the survey, that to push people to do all that work, that has been a challenge. So, but I mean, you know that the education community, you have teachers and then you have teachers. So you know the teachers, they did what they had to do, and we achieved what we did. The numbers are there in front of you. The statistics you've seen. So therefore, we are very grateful to those teachers and the leaders.
Thank you, Abhilasha. And I'd like to ask Jasmine as well, if you'd like to share what your greatest challenge has been over the last year.
I would say, thank you, Kirsten. Thank you. I think the challenge is like Abhilasha said. I would like to latch on time. Everybody wants to be a T4 ambassador, and also I think they are not too informed about what it is about. So they think it's this big global challenge, and they won't be able to cope. And it's not like that. So this event is really good because they can see we are just normal educators and we're just latching onto a vision to actually impact the world in a better way as a team. So I think that's the biggest challenge, getting people to manage time, to make time to attend events. And once they started, there's no turning back.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. And Wendell,
You're welcome.
What was your biggest challenge?
Mm.
That's great. Thank you very much, Wendell. I think I have to positively challenge you because you have absolutely knocked it out of the park this year for us with regards to engaging teachers in the Philippines. Filipino teachers are now a huge part of our community, and we're so grateful to you and all of those new community members. It's absolutely fantastic. You've done an incredible job. Wonderful. Thank you.
And Kirsten, may I add something over here?
Please do.
Like Jasmine said about teachers, they think that it is it would be challenging, like they'll not be able to make time for it, and they might not be able to fulfill what the ambassador role requires. But you know, as a teacher, I've always believed in action and the impact. And the point from action to impact is a journey, and I think all of us should be part of that journey. Everybody should, whether you are an ambassador or not, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, always action and impact.
Absolutely. And that's very well said, Abhilasha. Thank you for sharing. I think, that's one of the things that we're most passionate about at T4 is about giving teachers a platform. We know, and as I say, as a former teacher myself, we aren't always involved in the decision making about policies around education, and teachers know what's best for the children that they teach, for their school context. And so, by coming together, we can challenge the status quo, we can try and collectively improve education, raise the quality of it, but children all over the planet. And we absolutely can't do that by working in silos. It is about sharing practice and providing opportunities for people as well.
And that's why I love what T4 stands for. And let's recap on that for everyone who is joining us today for the first time, and you're hearing about T4 for the first time. So it's very well thought of. teacher leadership, teacher collaboration, teacher technology, and teacher well-being.
Yes.
All teachers.
Absolutely. That yes. So those pillars that Abhilasha has just referred to, that's effectively the focus of our very first conference back in May 2020, and that's where T4, the name, came from. There was those 4 pillars of leadership, collaboration, technology, and well-being, and the T for teachers. You know, and it's about putting teachers at the centre and the heart of everything that we do. And we're so grateful to everybody that shares this journey with us and who chooses to continue this journey. And we have a question I'm just bringing up on screen from Irma, who is one of our country ambassadors. Yes. How to introduce T4 community to our Ministry of Education so that we can continue to our contribution in collaboration with them. So I'll open that to the country ambassadors. Would one of you like to answer from your own perspective and experiences? Or I can answer.
Okay, that's fine. Dealing with Ministries of Education, T4 is very supportive of that. Vickers himself, if you open that up and say, listen, I have a problem, I need something, they will write you a letter in one day. and like, you know, so T4 takes ownership, and they're accountable for what they stand for. And I think this year in particular, this year and next 2022, if you apply, you won't have a problem. T4 stands for teachers. People know about them. If you need some introduction, you go yourself, or you use the resources that Daniel and Kirsten will happily be putting in folders for you on a Google Drive. So yes, you'll get that support, and that's all that is important. You know, going to the school or whatever Ministry of Education, say this is the education, this is T4, and do get in touch with them if you need some further information. That's what my experience was. And once they're in, I work in both South Africa and Malaysia, right? And people are on board. Everybody is coming to this T4. We had a T4 briefing before this for people to become ambassadors. So I hope that answers your question.
Wonderful, thank you. And Wendell, as you've been incredibly successful at engaging, would you also like to share your approach? Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I am mindful of time, even though we did start late. So I think we need to look at wrapping up. There's a couple of other things that I would just like to say, because this is International Volunteer Day. So thank you to all of you that have joined us here today for the event, including our country ambassadors that are both on screen and in the Facebook group, sharing their experiences with everybody else as well. Thank you so much. We also have other people that support us voluntarily. at T4, and so it's important that we don't forget about them as well in this celebration. And so we have a community of education NGOs and non-profits called the T4 Alliance, and many of those partners have also assisted us this year with translation activities. They also support us with promoting our missions and agendas, and we also have other volunteers that we know through the people that we connect with. In fact, one of my former colleagues, Harriet, has also helped us significantly this year, not as an ambassador but directly as a volunteer working with our team. And every single person that supports us, we are incredibly grateful to all of you. For me, this so far has been an absolutely incredible journey. It's certainly was a surprise that's come out of the pandemic to be walking away from my previous role and fully immersing myself in this. But I am so excited to connect and work with you all, because I know that together we are so much stronger and we can achieve a lot more together as well. So unless anyone else has got any final comment they would like to make. Anybody? You're welcome.
Yeah.
Just
So once
for
again,
everyone to be part of T4 and apply for the ambassador, T4 ambassador.
Thank you, Abhilasha. Daniel?
yes. So once again, I'd like to say congratulations to Wendell, Jasmine, Abhilasha, and the entire 2021 cohort. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for going beyond and above to assist us with tasks. We look forward to even greater collaboration. So thank you so much. And I'd like to say big, big, big congratulations to every one of you.
Thank you, Daniel. And one
Thank
very
you,
last
Daniel.
point from me.
Yeah, Daniel and Kirsten, I'm sorry, I just want to take, I know every ambassador, every country ambassador, and every ambassador here, we want to thank you. So I'm going to take the liberty of thanking you, because you, Kirsten, everyone else working for T4, you are such a small team, but you do big things. So we want to thank you because we're part of a family. And I want to encourage everyone out there, don't underestimate yourself. Apply. It's a great journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jasmine. And thank you so much, Kirsten and Daniel and T4.
Absolutely. And I want to extend the thanks as well to the rest of the team, because obviously the team often do a lot of extra hours as well. And another person that works very closely with country ambassadors isn't on this call today, Obasanjo, also known as OBJ, or the President, His Excellency. OBJ works very closely on translation activities with all country ambassadors. And we've got many more members of the team that haven't yet worked quite so closely, but we've got Mike that's focused on research activities. We have Marin, who's in Argentina, that is leading on the World's Best School Prizes. Our colleague Lawrence has just departed, but we also have a new member, Obakeng, who's also going to be working on the business commercial side of the business. And the team is continuing to grow slowly, but we still need you and we appreciate you. So thank you so much for joining us today. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening. Take care and God bless.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you for having us over today. Really, really.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And we're offline. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Nice. Thank you so much, Kirsten. It was really nice. Thank you, Daniel.
Oh my word! And my laptop just crashes. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but also the Facebook
keep on. Wendell, it's wonderful to see you like virtually. Like, you know, like I'm always like, oh, look at these numbers. This is not fair. Like, look what's going on in the Philippines.
And I had the pressure. I had the pressure of I got 4 ambassadors from my school, and what you people are doing?
Yes. I know that feeling.
You are a productivity machine. Like you provide us so much incredible, and I love that you support your team